So once again, very good morning to Professor Beena Giridharan, Deputy Pro Vice-Chancellor of Curtin, Malaysia, and Dean of Faculty of Humanities, Professor Andreas Zins, Dean Faculty of Business, Deans, Managers, Staff, Alumni Speaker, and our recent graduates of Semester 1 2020, Curtin, Malaysia. Welcome to our first Faculty of Business and Faculty of Humanities graduates online webinar. This is the first time we do it. MCO, and now it's Recovery MCO, Semester 1 2020. And thank you for all your time and commitment. And of course, thank you to UniLife and also Career and Alumni for organizing this online webinar. And I'm pretty sure all of you, especially the students, will be inspired by our panel of speakers during the session later on. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to invite Professor Beena to deliver her welcoming speech. Let us invite Professor Beena. The screen is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Nomide. A very good morning to Professor Andreas Zins, students, staff, and alumni of the Faculty of Business and Faculty of Humanities. Welcome, everyone. Students, I'm really delighted to join you this morning to mark the final stage of your student journey at Curtin, Malaysia, to share your sense of achievement at nearing the end of your undergraduate study and the joy of looking forward to your graduation. I know that, this year has caught us all by surprise, but, we are from Curtin, and what do? We look for opportunities. Every crisis has opportunities. So I'm just going to speak to you a little bit to remember you what you're made of, okay? What your DNA is made of. This is a time to reflect on the good times and the tough times we have gone through, including the challenges of continuing your studies during this global pandemic. I'm sure it has been challenging and rewarding for you, and you're probably feeling a great range of emotions. One of relief that you have made it, pride in your abilities, and perhaps also a sense of achievement and some anxiety as you think ahead of the future. However you feel, be proud that you will soon be joining over 230,000 Curtin graduates from across 160 countries around the world who have gone on to create successful careers in a broad range of professions and are contributing to the economic and social prosperity in their respective countries and regions. Of that number, close to 8,000 have come from Curtin Sarawak and Curtin Malaysia, as we are known now, reflecting our status and role as Curtin University's largest international campus and global hub of Asia. I would like to leave you with some simple snippets of advice as you continue your lifelong journey. And please, always enjoy what you do. I'm sorry, there's still a lot of static. Can we please mute your microphones?
Okay, I have mute everyone. Professor Beena, maybe you can turn on your mic.
Thank you. Yeah, so as I was saying, as you move along on your journey, I was just saying, please enjoy everything that you do. You take every opportunity that comes your way and look forward to continually developing yourself and always hold true to your values. Thank you, for choosing Curtin Malaysia as your higher education provider. You have strived along with us and you have achieved amazing goals of getting a quality education here. The quality of our education is very much dependent on the quality of our students as well. And we take great pride in every student that walks across our hallways, comes into this campus with expectations in their eyes. And we are so happy to have that, continue that journey with you. you have strived and achieved a fantastic goal of getting a quality education here. And I trust, you're doing quite well in your exams, regardless of the fact that exams are being delivered in a new media and new formats. But remember, this is going to be the future of work as we, speak about it. I trust that you have done well, and you will all soon be rewarded with an incredible gift, and that is a world-class shining out of your eyes. Remember, employers are looking forward to individuals who are critical thinkers and problem solvers. As Curtin graduates, you will be able to demonstrate capabilities that are much needed in this current environment. Creative enterprise and sustainable approaches are not mere buzzwords of today, but they will propel you forward in your workplace and in your lives. Work ethically, work with compassion for others, and always try to place yourself in the shoes of others. As you go out there in the world, always remember that Curtin Malaysia, your alma mater, and all that it has given you will always be with you. I trust you will continue to be worthy ambassadors of the university, and I wish you all the very best for the future and success wherever you may find it. So thank you once again. Have a great morning, and it's lovely to be with you all, although it's in a virtual space. Okay, so that's from me now, and over to Andreas now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Beena, for your kind words and positive words and encouragement to all our students, especially the graduates. So all the best, graduates. And I now would like to invite Professor Andreas Zins, Dean, Faculty of Business, to say a few words to the faculty's graduates. Professor Andreas, the mic and the screen is yours.
Thank you. I hope the acoustics sound will work and there is no interruption. There is always unexpected things to come, and this is exactly the kind of the topic I want to touch only for a few minutes. I know that graduation ceremonies could be boring if there were too long speeches. Anyway, it's nice to join. As you probably know, I'm a newcomer. It's a change to the faculty. I joined beginning of May, so unfortunately I did not have opportunity to meet in person with you. But as I can only see from the records, you did it. You did it with your ambition, with your energy, your endurance, and I right away say congratulations to this achievement. As the new dean, I simply want to address this this concept or what you experienced. Yeah, I mean, as a matter of fact, since you have been born, I mean, and this is change. And I know it sounds a bit trivial, but particularly in view of what happened during the last couple of months, not only here in Miri, but for the entire world, I think it's worthwhile to reflect on this concept. What does it mean for you? What did it mean? So at the end of your undergraduate studies, you might look back wondering how fast this time passed, or how you could stand all the workload that was required to finish your degree. You might also look at your expectations and worries you were facing after finishing high school, the preparation, and finally the enrollment into a new phase of life and of definitely a new style of learning. Some of you probably felt serious distress. Others felt anxious. Others may be curious. And again, others very much looking forward to all the novelties to arrive. There is nothing bad with those feelings. We all have different views on and capacities to cope with change. John F. Kennedy mentioned once, change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future. With your study experiences here at Curtin, I'm very confident that you could enhance your capacities and coping mechanisms. You don't need to radically change your personality when it comes to attitude towards change, but we definitely try to prepare you for responding to change in a more constructive way. Okay, I confess, we did not plan to prepare you for the current pandemic. Nobody could plan for that, right? But it simply happened, like so many other things in our natural, business and social environment that we cannot control for. And yet, we adapted very fast to enable learning, teaching processes, our research activities, and much more to continue. You will be facing a variety of other challenges, though. Academic education prepares you not only for those cases and conditions you exactly trained in classroom and during your assignments. Academic education is a sophisticated, compact bundle of devised to empower you much beyond those cases and contexts. It is about those configurations that are new, unexpected, unexplored. So I hope that none of you will fear and scare stiff in view of ongoing and partly unanticipated change. You should be well prepared to embrace change. Some of you will feel even comfortable surfing the wave of innovation, the waves of such change. It doesn't matter where. You will find your space and role. So, however, keep Bill Clinton's and other presidents' words in mind. The price of doing the same old thing is far higher than the price of change. So this is my concluding words: to be prepared, to be forward-looking, to embrace change, to take it as an opportunity. Of course, the next change is already waiting, leaving, most of you, leaving academia, looking for opportunities, starting a career. Take it as a positive move, a positive change, even though, the current situation doesn't look very, very charming, very optimistic, but it's up to you how you take it. So I think with Curtin in your rucksack, in your back, in your memories and experiences you take with you, as Professor Beena mentioned. I think this will be a nice change, a nice journey to start. All the best, and again, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Andreas, for your kind words and positive encouragement to all the students. Right? So we meet in person, but now finally we meet you online. Yeah, since the MCO. All right. Next, we would like to invite once again, on behalf of Faculty of Humanities, to invite Professor Beena to say a few words to the faculty's graduates. Once again, Professor Beena, the screen is yours.
Dear students, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what happened to my screen, I'll just make a very short speech. I'm just following on, the words of Professor Andreas. To the students of humanities, you are never more than equipped as ever before. You have got, liberal arts with you. And this is a fantastic, set of skills that are very hard to acquire. These skills are acquired through interaction with your materials, with your readings, with your creativity, with all that you have worked with the staff, with the university, and this is going to be your greatest asset. You're going to be shining examples of what students can be and what graduates can hope to be. So I think I have no, I'm fully confident that wherever you may be in this world, in this moment, you're going to be on that precipice of being propelled into a trajectory of growth. A trajectory of growth and development that is not just going to benefit you, but also benefit society. Remember, you are graduates. You already have the skills and capabilities to help yourself, your families, and your closest people next to you. But there are lots, just remember, there are many who are deprived of this great knowledge and, experiences. And this is what we should remember always. They have been deprived of these experiences because of their lower socioeconomic statuses. It is not for lack of intellect. So, my request to you is to always think of what you can do to help others. The universities exist and continue to encourage a society for the good of others. University graduates are not merely there to build your careers. Yes, you need to build your careers, but along the way, you can build others' lives too. Okay? So I think humanities graduates, I may be biased, but I see that you can place them in any situation and they will thrive. Over and over again, our students have shown us that. Students from Curtin, Malaysia, Faculty of Humanities, have gone on to do wonderful things. And, we just stand and look back at the hallways. We could have placed hundreds of pictures of graduates who are shining examples and continue to inspire others. Okay, so I think that's from me. And unfortunately, I have to leave now for a little while because, I have a meeting with the PVC online. So I'm going to leave now, and when I finish, I will join back. Have a wonderful morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Beena.
Yeah. Thank you once again, Professor Beena. I'm humbled and inspired by words. Yeah, not only the student, I believe. All right, so without further ado, I would like to invite Miss Audrey, the Student Services Manager, to share some information on the graduation. Miss Audrey, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Nomide.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to see a lot of you joining us today. We have more than 100 participants already joining us. Okay, so a little bit of information on the graduations administration. So probably your last administration task to do before you graduate and leave Curtin, Malaysia for good. Okay, so the graduations timeline has been emailed to your Curtin student email. So I think it was emailed this morning. So this includes the timeline to register for the ceremony, or you wish to receive your award by mail. All right, so once registered, we will email you the attendance registration with the ceremony details and the ticket and regalia hiring information. So all of this should happen sometimes in March next year. All right. So the graduation ceremony details will be advised to you as soon as we are able. At the moment, the ceremony is planned for April 2021. However, this is still subject to the government's regulations at the time. Okay. So some important notes. Please ensure that you register by the stipulated deadline. So all of these will be sent to you on official communication. So please check your OSs. And you must register online even if you do not wish to attend the ceremony. Okay? And the other thing is you will also be required to complete the Tracer study questionnaires and also the Curtin graduate survey. All right. So a little bit of info on Tracer. So Tracer is actually an avenue for the ministry to gather informations and feedback from students to help them in the future planning and improvement of our education system. Okay, so this information is also actually important for the Setara ranking of Curtin Malaysia. So what does this mean to you as graduates? The rating does not only benefit the university, but also all of you as Curtin graduates in terms of your qualifications, cognitions, and also employability. Okay, so our alumni team will be in contact with you on the details of these surveys soon. All right, so please look out for your Curtin student email for the information. Okay, so that's all from me. If you have any question, please email our team at graduations@curtin.edu.my. Right? So all the best, and I hope all of you have enjoyed your time here at Curtin Malaysia. So I hope to see you at your graduation ceremony next year. That's all. Over to you, Nomi.
Okay, thank you, Miss Audrey, for the graduation updates. And of course, they have done a lot of great works to support all the students, especially those who are delayed by graduations by an MCO, right? So we hope to see all of you, but we are not finished yet. We have invited career and alumni. Miss Catherine has invited a few alumni and also current postgraduate students to join us this morning. And we have Gavin, we have Justin Nason Simoni, Shaikh Tahmid Hassin, and we have postgraduate students, Nien Kah Lim and Yong Hui. And for this moderation session, together with panel the speakers, I would like to invite Miss Christine Chua to join us. The mic and screen is yours, Miss Christine.
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. So now the forum session will begin. It's Christine, and I will be serving as your moderator today. So first of all, I would like to welcome all of you to the forum session. In this very special occasion, we are very honored to invite the 3 industry alumni and 2 currently postgraduate alumni. And now moving along, I would like to welcome the panel of today's forum. First, let's welcome Mr. Gavin, who is the co-founder of Warmonger Training Academy Miri. He graduated from his commerce degree from Curtin in 2007, majoring in property valuation. He has also worked as a licensed residential property valuer in LMW, which is one of Australia's largest property group listed on Australian Stock Exchange. So after working 10 years in the property industry, he has returned to Miri to complete his Master of Science in Project Management at Curtin, where he and his business partner has opened a training academy in Miri, which is one of the first competitive combat sport training center. So let's welcome Mr. Gavin. Okay, so moving on, we have the second panel is Mr. Justin, who is an assistant manager for central management for Pantai Bayu Indah. So he has also graduated back in 2007 in Bachelor of Business Administration and started his career as a sales and administration under Doyon Development. So since then, he has moved within the Samling Group and as an sales executive in charge of Marina Square and transferred to marketing department for Marina Park City development in 2014. So since 2017 to present day, Mr. Justin has served as an assistant manager and center management in charge of the Miri Times Square development. So we are very honored to invite him as our panel today. Next, let's welcome Mr. Sheikh, who works in operation as Airline Support Specialist API. So API stands for Accommodation Plus International, a global leader in airline crew logistics and sports logistics. So one of the interesting thing I found in Mr. Sheikh's bibliography is that he was actually a professional basketball player since the age of 16, and he was heavily involved in student leadership activities on campus, mainly in basketball and MUN. So he graduated from Bachelor of Arts in 2018 and moved to New York. And after he moved to New York, he was hired by the Air France as a client service associate. After 18 months, he moved to API, which I said stands for Accommodation Plus International. He works in the HQ based in New York with clients that includes more than 85 airlines around the world. So currently, he is still working as an airline support specialist assigned to JetBlue Airways. So these are three of our industry alumni. And now we have two more currently postgraduate alumni, which are Miss Yo Hui Hui. She is one of the currently taking Master of Philosophy in Marketing. And she is actually one of the local students in Miri who graduate in 2018 in entrepreneurship. So during her studies, she had a lot of she have joined in a lot of club activities, and she wanted to learn more about the in-depth knowledge and explore more about the rural entrepreneurships in Malaysia. And she is one of the fee waiver from Curtin, and her current project is granted by the Fundamental Research Grant Scheme, which is very, very impressive. And last but not least, we have Miss Lim, who is also taking Master of Philosophy in Management. She's from Sabah, graduated from Curtin in 2018, and taking banking and finance. So she completed her degree and she wanted to further her studies and enhance her knowledge. So she chose to further her master in Curtin, and she is very, very thankful that her master is funded by Curtin Malaysia. And currently, the project she is venturing is granted by Sarawak Multimedia Agency. So now she is hello, can you hear me? Okay. So now she is improving herself in knowledge and academic qualification so that she can pursue her career goals in the future. So now I will just proceed to the Q&A session. Is that okay? So now, first question I would like to ask Mr. Gavin. Is Mr. Gavin here? Yeah, Mr. Gavin, I wanted to ask, how did you get into your field of work?
Hi, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Firstly, I just want to congratulate everyone who's graduating here. Well done. Yeah, I got into my field of work. Currently or previously?
Currently.
Currently? Oh, okay. I got into my field of work while I was finishing my master's at Curtin. A couple of my friends decided to go into business together with me, so we opened up our training academy together. My friend and business partner, one of them is state champion and also international champion in Muay Thai kickboxing. And also my other partner is a master trainer in the fitness industry as well. So three of us got together during the time I was completing my master's at Curtin, and we started our small business together. Okay.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
For sharing. Okay, the second question I would like to ask Mr. Justin. Is Mr. Justin online?
Yeah, I'm back in. Yep.
Okay, hi. Hi, I wanted to ask, does your graduate training actually help in your job? If so, how does it help?
It does give well, the training itself during my studies, it helps, it helps you with the knowledge that, when you want to start back your work, and then it helps you to be more, it helps you of what you need to do. Like, for me as a business graduate, you got your finance, HR, and everything. It helps you, gives you a little bit more of what can that, a basic of understanding the whole thing. Your real training actually to me starts when you go to the place, because that's where you actually learn all the other skills involved, like negotiating and everything, talking to clients, because you have all these you have all the other skills which you have to learn on the ground as compared to what you learn in the classroom. So yeah, actually that it does help, but it has to come hand in hand with your own attitude to learn or not.
Okay, thank you so much. So for the next question, I would like to ask Mr. Shaikh. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yeah, you are. It's fine.
So I wanted to ask, what is your typical day at work? Like, what do you guys normally do?
Okay, so typical day at work is basically staring at the screen a lot, because since I'm working with airlines, I don't actually work with the planes. I work with everything that's technical. So I handle anything that has to do with billing and making sure that the logistics are ready and everything. So it's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of communication back and forth. I have to deal with a lot of managers from different businesses, different hotels, and at the end of the day, it just comes down to accuracy and timing. Because with airlines, you just have to make sure that nothing goes wrong and everything is on time.
Okay, thank you so much. So now back to still with Mr. Sheikh. I wanted to ask, like what prior experience or personal qualities or skill are vital in your field of work?
So, okay. Basically, I majored in PR, so that's something I feel that, and that's something that comes in handy every day because PR, there's two sides of it, the external and internal communications. I deal with a lot of internal communications, and as I said earlier, it's a lot of document processing, and it's a lot of dealing with a lot of different clients. So, everything that I've gone through in Curtin, it's helping me out. It's helping me out a lot.
Thank you so much. Now, back to Mr. Gavin. Hi, Mr. Gavin.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. Can you share a bit about your first year working experience in the industry?
In the industry.
Yeah, like your first year working, like you
Oh,
face
okay,
some
yeah, sure.
challenges. Yeah.
Well, my first year of working was quite difficult. You'll find out that a lot of companies will want to hire you based on your experience, and it's quite a hard catch-22 that you can't get experience if no one hires you. So basically, in the first year, I was applying for many varieties of jobs, and finally, I got a job where they gave me an opportunity as a trainee. So if you have any difficulty obtaining a career in the sector that you studied in, don't be disheartened, but to try and just apply for a job in any industry and gain experience working there. Eventually, when your resume gets filled up with experience, you can apply for a job in the sector that you're seeking. But I found that in the first year of my graduating my first degree, there was a lot of difficulty in obtaining a career because of lack of experience. The companies were not hiring. So yeah, that was my first year. First year was about gaining experience in any sector, and then getting a strong enough resume to apply for jobs in the sector I was after.
Okay, thank you so much. The next question is to Mr. Justin.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, what are the best advice you can give to young graduates starting a new job?
I would say that yeah, you gain as much knowledge as you can in your uni days. Whatever you learn, all those things, and whatever that you studied before, it's important. But the other thing that 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 we all that graduates need to know is also try to make more connection, make more friends in the uni. I think I've said this before, but it's also important that you have to make more friends and everything. Later, when you start to work, then you're going to have all these friends of yours who are going to enter different industries, and then you're going to know them. You're going to need them next time because they're all very important for your for your future development. Because each industry that's around us is all tied together with another industry, and then and also another thing is also enhance more on your language skills. Uh, get to know more. It's good to have multi-language skills, um, and then also, especially especially if you're going to do it with the government, it's also good to know people, with the government and everything because they are the approving authority with your project. I actually learned that on my own. Learn it on the hard way, but once you know that, then it's easier for you to get approvals done, easy for you to get recognition, easy for you to get things done. It'll be easy for your work next time. So the one also another thing is also to be more have that attitude where you want to learn more, the attitude of keeping learning more. Okay, I've been working for the past almost over 10 years. I'm also still learning. Okay, learn more, absorb more. You never know that these skills are good for you in the future. Yeah, it's whatever you learn is going to be your gain and your strength. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the advice. My next question is that does your job involve, changes in lifestyle, traveling, late nights entertaining, or, living in another city?
For me, yeah, it does actually. Where there are times where you have to meet up with clients for dinner. You have to take them out for social gatherings and everything. But it's the way how you balance it with them, and then it's also how you actually engage with them. So sometimes it is through this approach, you can actually get to know the person more better, and then it'll be good for you. It will help a lot in your future, future business and negotiation skills. Yeah, like my job, I do travel, but not as often as before. So it does put a toll on you, and also in your family. But the main thing actually is how you balance your work, and your family time together.
Thank you so much. My next question is for Mr. Shai. Hi. I want to ask, do you have any advice for the students that are preparing for interview?
The toughest part. So the thing about interviews is it's a blind thing. You have to go in prepared. You have to know what you're capable of, because something that I always say to my colleagues or my friends is when you're going in for an interview, you have your resume with you, and you're the only person in that room who truly understands what's on that resume. You're the expert on that particular topic. The person who's interviewing you he wants to know what your skills are, what your qualifications are. At that particular moment, you got to sell yourself. You have to make sure that you're ready for whatever questions they might give you. You have to be ready for any scenarios. I've had my fair share of interviews, and I've had my fair share of horrible interviews. It's at the end of the day, it just comes down to practice, and apply for jobs, apply for interviews, do mocks with your friends, sit down, prepare. The more you practice, the better you get, and eventually you'll get to a point where when an interviewer asks you something, you have the answer, because they won't ask you anything out of the blue. They'll ask you things within your range. So just make sure when you're going in, you know everything, and make sure whatever is on your resume is things you can actually back up. So that's very important. First, never lie on your resume, and make sure you know how to portray yourself in person as well. That's very important.
Thank you so much. And does your work changes your lifestyle?
Yes, it has. It has absolutely changed my lifestyle. So, as I said earlier, I studied PR. I thought I was going to go into corporate communications. I was going to have a 9-to-5 job. But then, as Mr. Gavin said earlier, when you start applying for jobs, you might not get calls from your field. And airlines is something I was never familiar with. But however, there's this golden rule. The first job offer that you get out of college, you never say no. So I kind of stuck to that, and I was with Air France for a year and a half. I learned a lot. However, it did affect my life, because it's not a typical job. It's not 9 to 5. I would come home at 3 a.m. in the morning, and then next day I'd have to go back in again at 8 o'clock. So it's been tough. And then I moved on to API. I have a fixed schedule now. However, still, I go to work at 2 p.m. I come home at 2 a.m. So that's how it's affected my life.
Thank you so much for your sharing. So, Mr. Gavin, I wanted to ask, do you think that in your field of work, is there any big transformation in the near future? Mr. Gavin?
Sorry, could you repeat that question?
in your line of work, do you think that there will be a big transformation in the near future?
Yeah, well, there's already being a huge transformation at the moment due to the global situation that we're facing right now. We've had to go to online, doing things online now. So yeah, there's quite a big change in the industry that I'm working in at the moment due to the global situation at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Gavin. So I'll proceed with
No
the
worries.
session to Miss Yo.
Hi, with me.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi. Okay, I wanted to ask, why do you choose to embark in the postgraduate study?
Initially, it started like it's either I have to go out to work after my undergrad or I continue. But during my undergraduate, actually, two lecturers came to me and offered me to continue studies in Masters in Research. Then I gave it a little bit of consideration. Then I was like, it can be a way for me to actually increase my knowledge and also the skills, my research skills, all those. So I actually agreed one of my lecturer that I will continue on to take up this Masters of Philosophy. Then as that time we also have such session, this graduate webinar, but that time is seminar and that time is physical. I also heard some sharing from seniors who are taking masters that time. So from all the things that they shared, the facilities and the supports that we will be receiving, actually, I seen that it's actually quite good. And also, I'm a local from Miri, so it's quite easy for me to actually come campus and with all the resources that I will receive. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And as I know that you have participated in a lot of activities on campus, like co-curriculum activities, do you think that these activities prepare you for your next job?
Actually, yes. Especially being a person like all throughout all these activities, especially JC Academy, it actually train up the way for you to think more critically instead of just thinking in the box. It actually make you to think more out of the box, so that in any way, in anything that happens, actually we get to think very critically and think and get to change and get a solution very fast. Yeah.
So much, Miss Yo. Now I would like to ask the question to Miss Lim.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
I wanted to ask, like, why do you choose to master in management?
Okay, why do I choose to master in management? Because I think this is where I can get to really enhance my knowledge in this specific area where management is everyone needs to know how to manage, and this is the great platform for me to really focus specifically on this. Thus, I choose management.
Okay, so can you give some advice for the young graduates who are considering to take postgraduate study?
Okay, all right. So I believe at this stage, most of the young graduates are thinking whether, like what Hui Hui said, like whether to take on a job directly or to really further this. And I think this is MPhil that offered by Curtin Malaysia is a great platform for us to venture into, where we will get to work together with good academics in Curtin. We will be given, like what Hui Hui mentioned also, we will be given with the necessary resources and facilities that we need throughout the whole journey. And most importantly, Curtin Malaysia, the supervisors and the HGR students are very helpful in this journey. So we don't really have to worry, will I be alone in this journey? Will I need to do all this alone in this journey? But they are all here with us. They are all here walking together with us in this journey. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Last question is that since this session is part of the alumni contributing back to the university, so may I know what motivates you to contribute back to the uni?
What motivates me to contribute back to the uni? All right. So I think education is really important, and education can really change one's life. So since I'm impacted by the uni, since I am benefited from the university, why not just give back generously, just give back whatever the little that I have back to the university, where the younger one can receive, where the younger one can learn to, and in the near future maybe they will too be able to contribute back to the university and the society as a whole.
Thank you so much for your sharing. That is all from me. I would like to ask all the students, do you guys have any questions? You can have an open question. You can just type your questions in the comments.
Yes, we have one question from Yi Min Lo. Yeah, towards he. I would like to ask this question. As graduates, how do we know postgraduates will be a merit to our future career, or it will be necessary? Yeah.
Her question is to us. We can answer, right?
Yeah.
Actually, for now, how can masters or postgraduate can actually really help us that now that the market for students to get a job getting more and more competitive, there's a lot of already a lot of degrees everywhere, and also one more thing is that unemployment rate is actually quite high. With a postgrad, it's actually a bonus whereby it can help you with a specific specialization. Like for me, I'm actually in marketing. So probably if a person requires, maybe that a company requires a position with marketing or such thing, and it suits my topic that I've been researching in, it gives me a higher chance compared to other people who is applying for the same job. Yeah.
All right, very good. Thank you, Yo. Any other questions from the students? I bet you have a lot of questions, especially during this MCR. The future, probably the future of career, probably job market's future. How to cope up with the new challenges of the new normal. Any question from the students? We encourage you to ask question either by chatting, or you can just unmute your mic. Anyone? Looks like we don't have any more questions. Anyone? Or probably the staff maybe can have any question.
There is one or two question in the chat.
All right. Oh yeah. Okay. So from Esanul Kabir, what can you do to enhance your job application if you have no experience? Yeah, just now Gavin also mentioned this one just now, right? Probably any one of you can also share your thoughts about it.
Hello. Hello. Okay. So the thing about experience. So when you read a job posting, at the end, they always say you need a bachelor's, and then you need 2 years, 3 years, 5 years of experience. But then when you click into the job, the first line is an entry-level position. This is something that has confused me since day one, since I've hit the job market. They want someone for an entry-level position who has 5 years experience. How are you going to get that experience? You just graduated. So this is where your extracurriculars come in very handy. When you're in school, when you're in college, you need to be involved. You need to make sure that you're heavily involved in student leadership activities, volunteering, anything that gives you that interpersonal skills where you as a person can relate to another person. You as a candidate make yourself look more appealing to a job, because at the end of the day, let's say there's 115 people in this conference right now. All of us have a bachelor's degree. What else do we have? Because that degree, it gets you that interview. That degree gets you through the first door. But then they also want to know what else am I getting when I invest in you? Because when a company hires you, they're going to train you for a position. And over the years, you're going to learn how it works. You're going to learn how the business works. And they don't want to bring in someone who's going to come in, who's going to sit in the computer and let's say they get everything right. But at the end of the day, all you're doing is your job and you're going home. You're not contributing in any other way. Companies want to see candidates who are involved, who can reach out here and there. So yeah, I feel like all the work that I've done in my last couple of years with the university is one of the biggest reasons why I'm in the airlines industry with no experience. Yeah, so just be involved, reach out. If there's an event going on, volunteer. If there's leadership activities, join. And just be involved, make your connections. I believe Mr. Justin said something about, making those connections, making those friends, because right now they might be friends. 10 years later, they might be working for a company where you're applying for a job. And this person's recommendation from 10 years ago might help you get that spot because, hey, I saw him in action before. I saw him volunteering before. And you never know how that might help. Miss I'm pretty sure you guys know Miss Anita from Student Life, University Life. She's not here today. My current job right now, I owe her a lot of gratitude for my current job. When I got hired by API, the HR manager, she called me, and the first thing after she said I had the job was, one of the biggest reasons why we're hiring you is because of the glowing recommendation that you got from Miss Anita. So, just make sure you make those connections, because you never know when a good word from someone might just take you 10 steps ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to add, like for my own experience, I did internships, which is unpaid work. So you apply to be interns at companies if they're willing to take you. I did a couple months of internships at a couple of different companies. I didn't get a job with them, but I made relationships with them and I gained experience, and they became very good references for me in my career further down the line. So, I mean, that's always a possibility if you want to try applying to be an intern at a company just for a month or so and see if they're willing to take you on. That's where you can get experience and also some good references. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Tamit and Mr. Gavin. Any other speakers would like to add on? All right. So probably we can move on to the next question. We have, I think, 2 questions. From Alif Abang Azhar, what made you choose a master by research instead of master by coursework? So probably those who are continuing the postgraduates can respond to
Alright.
the question.
All right, so the question is, what made you choose a master by research instead of a master's by coursework? So maybe I can just share with you. Master by coursework is something like our degree. We will have to attend classes and we will have to submit our assignment and presentation and all. And as for master by research, which is what we are doing right now, is actually we get to enhance our knowledge. We get to dive deep into a more specific area, like what I'm doing now, management, that we are interested in. So for example, Hui Hui is interested in marketing, so she will be doing master in philosophy by research in marketing. So as for me, I'm doing the management side. So also as for master by research, as for me, I'm doing my data collection. So that's mean I'm to connect with people, as what the rest had mentioned just now. I'm to connect with maybe 200 or 300 people around Sarawak, where I have no chance to meet them if I'm not doing this. And it really helps to improve my communication skill, to talk to someone that I never seen, to talk to someone that I don't know who are they, and to really not just getting the data collection done, but to know them in person. So is really just building the connection with one another, where it will be really useful in the future. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Ms. Lim. Ms. Yue, anything that you want to add on?
Aside from all the communication skills and also expanding our networks, another thing is also we get to learn on extra things, such as using the software to do data analysis, which will also benefit us if we were to go into some of the working companies who will need all these systems like SPSS and all as such. So all of this actually contribute to our future. Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Yue. Right, we have another question from Jin. What's some good tips on expanding connection? Yeah, from our alumni. Anyone would like to respond to the question?
I think okay. I think what Mr. Tamit mentioned just now about getting into this, get to know people during your uni or those things, especially in those leadership conferences, curriculum activities, right? These are the people that these are the people that you know during your uni lifetime. So these are the essential good connection that you should have. Then when you start to when you start to go to the workplace, okay, yeah, you may come in as a trainer, as a trainee, you may come in as a very junior staff. So there are times where maybe you do meet people along the line. If you are actually doing sales or marketing, you are going to bound to meet some clients and everything. That's when you also can get to build your connection with them, because you never know from that little seed or that small client that you have is going to take you further and further, in your business, in your career growth and everything. I have people that when I first started my work, my current job in sales, I had people that I know when I first started work in my first year. They are still very close to me until now. These clients are still close to me until now. They still even look for me until now. So that is the kind of relationship that you want to have. And then sometime from that one client, you will expand to another 5 clients, because they will introduce, oh, this product is good. Please refer to so and so. Please refer to so and so. So these are the ways that you actually can expand your connection. And then it's also back to your attitude, that if you are sincere to a certain client, the client will remember you for life. Okay, they remember you for your good work. They remember you for your hard work. So I think that is the principle that I actually believe that carries me throughout throughout my working career until today. Thanks.
Really, really good insights by Justin. Okay, anyone want to add up on it? All right. If we don't have any other add-on, we move on to another question. And probably those who are attending, maybe you can turn on your video also. Of course, the speaker would like to see all the student faces. Maybe you will get recruited by them also, right? All right. This is the time that you build connection, right? So we move on to another question from Yi Min Law. For the working alumni, what are the things you wish to know when you did your first job? For example, any avoidable mistakes or other important information.
So yeah, things you can avoid on your first job. You might be the best student in your batch. You might be the president of your club. But when you go into a new job, you're fresh meat. Always remember that. There's always someone out there who knows that they're better than you, and they'll try to show you that. So when you go into your workplace, first thing you need to know is make sure you have a good working relationship with everyone you meet. That's number one. Put hard work, effort in, and effort is noticed. You don't have to scream it. You don't have to say it out loud. Your supervisors are always watching. Just remember that. They might not say it to you. They're not going to validate every action that you do every day, but they will once in a while call you in their office and tell you you did a great job. So just make sure when you go into the office and it's a brand new job, you check your ego at the gate. This is very important because you're still learning. It's even though you've trained 4 years at university for whatever job you might get, it's fresh. So take it as a learning experience. Give it time, and credit is, you'll always get credit where credit is due. So just work hard. That's all.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that. When you start working, especially in the office environment, there will be things such as office politics. Try to avoid getting involved with that kind of stuff. Just go into work, be on time for work. Don't talk bad about colleagues or your bosses. Always work hard. Always keep a good rapport with everybody. Just be a nice person. Be kind to everybody. Help out if people need help, and don't do anything untruthful or anything backhanded when you're working as well. So anything you do will come back to bite you in the end. Especially in my old industry, it was a very small industry. If someone did a big mistake at the office or did something very unethical, it is news that can travel around the whole industry. And if you ever get fired, lose that job, it might be very difficult for you to find a future job at another company if you do something that's unethical at work. So yeah, be honest, be really nice to everybody. Don't get involved in office politics where I've been around people that just talk bad about other colleagues or bad about the bosses. Just don't get involved in that conversation. Just do your job, be honest, hardworking, loyal to your boss, and you'll go far and you'll get promoted.
Thank you so much. A very, very good tips from Mr. Tamit and of course Mr. Gavin, right? So we have some more questions. Appreciate all the questions from Malcolm Wayne. What highly used software would you recommend we're able to learn and utilize that will bring benefit in terms of work productivity or even to prepare us for our future career? I think it's really depend on the industry, I guess. So any of the panel speakers would like to share your experience or your insights? Any one of the speakers would like to share, or probably some of our staff, managers, probably can share a little bit? Or Catherine from Career and Alumni?
I guess I open the time for the lecturers. If you have any advice for your students,
Yeah. So,
because some of your lecturers are here.
so what kind of software, productivity software for future career? Anyone? Maybe Mr. Justin? Yeah, Professor Andreas. Yeah.
Maybe I jump in. There is no general answer that's valid. Look, every industry, every sector developed their own specific say software tools to enhance productivity. So we are not talking about Microsoft Suite or these Office things. Of course, here if you are not proficient in preparing presentations, working with spreadsheets and those basics, this puts you in a very disadvantaged situation. And HR or they maybe find out during the first interview because or screening, you know. So here you have to be careful. But I think this was not the question. So it goes beyond. Is there any, say, specific software? And as far as I can tell you, if an industry, if a sector, if a company has their own proprietary software or adapted version of SAP, for example, they will give you a training. Nobody will expect you to have all the functions and what is F12 and the escape, control, shift, whatever combination. You know, you don't need that. However, think about it. If you ever trained yourself, either for some course of some unit, some subject, some tasks, to acquire the knowledge for 1, 2, 3 different software tools, you learned how to quickly get into a new software. And this is the skill, this is the knowledge that you take into a new environment. If you have big mental barriers to learn a new software tool, it's not that good. Yeah. So, but don't worry. I think you are not expected to be proficient with internal airline reservation system softwares in the real estate sector, to have property management tools, every features and gimmicks in your small finger, as we say that. This is, but if you're exposed to such an environment, okay, you should learn it very quickly and faster than others, non-graduates, students, young people without academic background. That's the advantage that I see, and I don't see big problems, you know, because I mean, if you work through a couple of years of academic challenges, should not be a problem. So don't worry. If you need to train really complex systems, you definitely get a training internally. This is the investment that larger companies or not necessarily larger companies, but if it's needed. But let me make a sidestep. What I see also in my job, you know, I mean, of course, I trained for 30 years SPSS data analytics. Of course, if you apply for a specific job where there is data analytics, big data, or so, and you have no idea about SIS or SPSS or something like that, of course, you will never get a job. So, of course, these are limitations. But again, I think you are talking, or the question was more so general advice. And now let me come back to this, say, general advice. The time we see a lot of other productivity tools coming out, partly free, partly licensed. And here I think you should be also aware, or at least monitoring what's going on the market, to screen, to maybe test, to get involved. I mean, I'm not talking about only social media platforms. Yes, also including social media platforms. If you are prolific here, it's maybe to the benefit of your department, of your team, because it is also expected that you are familiar and quick to make use of it, not only personal use for the benefit of your company. But so not limited to social media, but also other productivity tools, which are maybe public domain, open free software that you maybe it's not yet used in the company or in your department, and you propose, or you throw in and say, hey, let's give it a try, or maybe it can improve, enhance our creativity, our working together. This is an area where I see potential for almost everybody. Yeah. So in the production, manufacturing, service sector, it's not limited. So again, maybe it won't be expected that you have a long list, a history of 20 tools that you are expert, but if you can, I come back to what our invited speakers mentioned. Show initiative, a bit what we call leadership behavior. I mean, you don't have to claim that you are, the superhero expert if you are not. I mean, if you are, please show up. But take the initiative. Be alert. Where are the weaknesses in processes, in internal processes, where you can improve? I like what the previous speaker said. Don't only come to work and sit and work on what you are assigned to work through and close the book, close the computer, go home. Now, also think critically. Where are improvements to be made? Make suggestions. I mean, in a polite, in a kind way, not offending anybody who has probably 5-10 years company experience. Maybe they know better also. But anyway, being, say, with open eyes, open ears, and involve. And I think this combination, yes. Also, I repeat that, can hardly confirm. Yes, entrance level jobs, don't be too old, but have a lot of work experience. This is what the companies, the industry, they like to see. But what's behind? Behind is the experience that you collect in these years of prior professional experience to adapt, not only applying, say, textbook knowledge, or limited to these, determined boundaries, But if you can overcome, you can show quickly that you can adapt, you can take in new information, and including software tools, then you can advance, and you can climb up the career very fast. This is, I think, of course, it's not easy in the very, very beginning, but this is the only way that you can overcome this barrier. Okay, now fresh graduate, don't have 3 or 5 years experience. Yeah, but the faster you can show how you adapt in a new work environment, and the better it is, and you will stick out, and you will be much so perceived as different, much different, more capable, impactful. Yeah, this is my I know a little bit long description, but this is a good question. I mean, how much you have to be prepared for your next job? I mean, specific requirements. Many companies, they train you for the specific purposes, but you have to be very fast, to learn and adapt. This is more key than having studied 20 more books or 5 more software packages. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Professor Andreas, for the deep insight into softwares and experience. All right, so we have a few more questions here. Let's see if time is allowed. How important are your grades compared to your experiences when it comes to applying your first job? Of course, Mr. Gavin did answer here. Experience are more important, and yeah, I agree with that. And probably other speakers would like to add on the importance of experience besides grades. Anyone want to add, or it's quite obvious already, right? Or we can move on to the next questions. All right, next question. Next question from Hazel. How do we step out of our comfort zone, such as working in a different field or maybe working in a different city? Anyone would like to?
I feel like I'm well qualified to answer that question. So I've spent 4 or 5 years in degree, and during my time in Malaysia, most of the connections that I've made are mostly Malaysians and surrounding Asian students. And then right after graduation, I moved to New York. So all those years of networking and building relationships, it went all out the window. So now here's the thing: when you move to a different country, you may not have your connections or all those relationships that you've built. But one thing you do have is that person you created during your time at the university. You created a version of yourself that's well equipped for the job. So as long as you true to your capabilities, you will have social barriers. You will have but at the end of the day, it comes down to your professionalism, your qualifications, and how you portray yourself in those environments. So as I said earlier, during those interviews, you got to make sure everything that's on your resume, you can back it up as the person.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Tamit. I think the answer to this question just now, of course, bits and pieces throughout the session just now, right? So part of it, speakers also mentioned a few things on it. Right, next question. What brings meaning to you or motivates you when you are at work? Would you recommend students to jump into something that is not within their field? This is quite interesting question.
Yeah, I can give an answer to that. Doing something which helps people or helps your community is something that motivates and brings meaning to my work. I used to work in the property field in Australia for about 10 years. Very highly stressful job, what I used to be doing. Didn't really have much community work that I was doing through my company. It was mainly just business, making money. But it kind of left me feeling unsatisfied with work. I was making quite a lot of money, but my life was just all about work. I find that if you're going to be doing something that has a work-life balance as well, will actually help you mentally, as well as if you're doing something that benefits people by helping people or helping a community, you'll also have a lot of mental clarity in your life, and your life will be a lot more fulfilled than if you just work merely just to make profit for yourself. So that's one of my life's lessons. Money and everything, it is something, but if you can find a career, it doesn't have to be what you studied. Like what I'm doing right now has nothing to do with what I studied in my 2 degrees, in my master's, in my first property degree. And I've got all these qualifications as a backup, but my current job, I'm helping people achieve things in their lives, helping people live better. So yeah, that's my advice. Seek a job that helps people, if you can. do something that has some work-life balance, so you're not just all about work. Life isn't all about work. It's about balance, family, work, and you know, all these things together. Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Gavin. All right, so we have I think the last question. We have some more time actually. Was there anything that caught you off guard during your first interview? This is very interesting question, especially for those first time interview for their first job. Any one of you would like to respond to the question? Anything that caught you off guard during your first interview? Any one of the speakers would like to share?
I believe we all covered this because, you know, when you go into a job interview, anything can catch you off guard. I've been to an interview where the hiring manager was in shorts, and you know, you might have situations like that where you don't expect certain things. But I believe everybody did talk about a certain, you know, we covered how and you know how to prepare and go into an interview. Just, you know, make sure you have your facts right and go in with an open mind. You never know what you might get. Since we're talking about getting caught off guard, I do believe we need to talk about what's happening right now, the pandemic situation, because everyone who's graduating right now, the first barrier that you're all going to face in the job market is the pandemic. It's something even professionals that are working right now, I'm facing it as well. I'm pretty sure everybody is well aware of how big of a hit the airline industry has taken. And we went down from 1,800 flights a day to 300 flights a day. It's changing our industry. A lot of my colleagues who are in airport positions have been laid off, and you know, it's going to affect everyone. And trust me, when you guys enter the job market, you will not get calls not because you're not good enough. It's just because of the situation. Companies are not hiring. The job market has tanked. I'm sure you guys are following the major cities around the world that are taking the big hits. New York was one of the big ones. I was afraid for my job. Luckily, I have a little bit of job security. My boss allowed me to go home with the laptop and said, stay. But just remember this pandemic will affect everyone, and it's not your fault. You will apply for hundreds of jobs, and you will probably get back 2 or 3 calls. It's not because you're not qualified. It's because of the situation. Nobody prepared for this. We've never seen this before. The last time something like this happened was the bubonic plague, I believe, and we didn't have computers back then. So, you know, keep a strong mind, and I believe everybody else will also agree with this, that you know, keep working at it, because this will stay for a very long time. No matter what the politicians say, or just listen to the doctors. This is something very important right now, and you know, don't let it break your moral. It's gonna hit you a lot. Does someone else want to say something about their experience during these times?
All right. So it's really comforting to hear Tamit saying it's not your fault, especially during this pandemic. It's a very, very good insight, actually. All right. So especially the job market. All right. Okay, I think we have some more question here from Malcolm. What is something you wish you knew before you enter the working world? Something that you knew, you wish you knew before you enter the working world. Yeah. Any one of our speakers can respond to Malcolm's question?
What I think is that see when you are back at work, when you're when you're transiting from studying to working, right? Like what I mentioned or like what we have discussed, studying is you only learn a certain skill, okay, which is actually a lot of a lot of theory based and everything. And then when you start to work, everything is a lot hands on. So sometimes when you what I actually went through is that when I started my first job, you have a little bit low confidence of yourself, and then like, oh, how am I supposed to negotiate this thing with this person? How am I supposed to talk to this client? And then sometimes you may feel that you're inferior because you are just a junior staff, and then you're meeting a person who is earning, or who's owning a business, who earns a big millions of ringgit of business. So how do you actually bridge that? So these are the things where actually I have to learn on my first year of job, or my first month. And then in the workplace, there's no mercy. Okay, there's no mercy. You have to shape up, you have to bring yourself up, you have to build yourself up as fast as you can. Okay, there's no time for you to learn like how you learn in university, but you just have to shape up and bring yourself up. Okay, it's how you actually it's how you actually learn, and how you actually build skills that you have. So the faster you build, the faster you actually can you can climb up, and then that is when you actually build your confidence level. So I wish I had that. I wish I knew that before, but it's a lifetime process. But and then again, it goes back to the person. Each of us have our own race in life, lah. Okay, we have our own race in life. We have our own way of dealing with things in life. So an individual is different to another person. So it actually goes back to the person. How you want to how you actually learn and bring yourself up in the work market, in the job market. Yeah, that's all from me.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Justin. Yeah, that's really useful tips. Each and every one of us has our own experience. Yeah. All right, any more questions from the floor? Probably would like to see the face of our students. Once again, maybe you can turn on your video. Those of you haven't turned on your video. Yeah, only few of it. Yeah, our speaker would like to see you also. All right. Any more? So if we have no more question, we're still early. Is it time for us to end the session, Catherine?
Okay. The students, you have nothing else to say?
Don't be shy. This is the time for you to ask. Prepare your armor. Prepare your weapons for your first job, first interview.
Can everyone maybe just for the last time turn on your cam before we end the session? Or everyone is sleeping?
Maybe some of them cooking for lunch while listening to the advice of our speakers. All right. So
okay, I guess if there is no question, I guess we can end the session.
So probably if any one of our panel speakers would like to say final advice to the student before we end the session, any short advice?
Yeah, okay. Good luck everybody on your life from here onwards. Keep fighting the good fight. Don't worry if you get rejected from the first few jobs. Keep applying. Eventually, you'll get a job, and just do well and represent Curtin well out there, and go out and shine your light to the world. Okay? Awesome.
Nice one from Mr. Gavin. Thank you so much. Any other speakers would like to say final advice to students?
All the best to everyone, okay, in applying, and then send like what Mr. Gavin said. Send as much resumes as you can. Don't get discouraged with any rejects and everything. Just keep on trying, and then when you enter your first job, do well, have that learner's heart attitude, have that kind of attitude where you want to learn more. Okay. If you have that good attitude, it will take you very, very far. Right. Thank you, and all the best.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Justin. Very good advice.
Lastly, keep applying. Don't break your spirit. Just make sure you're giving it your 100%. Again, as I said earlier, because of the pandemic, the job market has taken a big hit, and you will hear a lot of rejections. You will not find jobs that you've been preparing for. So, don't let this you down, because it's not your fault. And lastly, just go in. It'll happen. Don't worry. Just
All right. Thank you, Mr. Tamit. All right. Miss Lim and Miss Yo, any final advice for those who want to continue, they want to continue their postgraduate?
All right. So once again, congratulations to all of you, and to just remember that life isn't about ourselves only, but to really in whichever way that we can, in whatever that we can do, try to give it back to the society, try to give it back to the next generation, in whatever work that we do, no matter it's as simple as a teacher or anything at all. Just give your very best, just do it excellently, and it will really bring you to a higher level. And also, MPhil is a great stepping stone for you if you are thinking to venturing in furthering your studies. All the best to all of you.
All right, Miss Yo.
Masters in philosophy is really a great stepping stone and a way for you to connect to expand your network all around, especially within the market that you would like to go into. So it is a good option, and you can actually learn really a lot of things, and also get a chance to peek into how it's like if you are interested to be an educator in future. As education never dies, so education can also be an option for your future career. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your inspiring words. All right. And to all the speakers, Professor Andreas and other lecturers would like to say a final advice to our outgoing students, graduating students.
Not easy to say even more, because there really so many essential things have been said and commented. So it's really difficult. I don't give any other advice, because the most essential things really have been addressed from various perspectives. So yeah, I wish you all the best for your next step. It is not an easy step for various reasons, not only the pandemic. Don't get discouraged. This is really important. You need even more endurance maybe than during the studies. And if you consider studying is a hard work, finding the right place, the right environment where you feel comfortable to grow in a professional environment can be also tough. Here I repeat or phrase it differently: experiment. Try. If you don't feel really comfortable in a business, in a job, leave, change. This is not, it's a waste of time and energy if you stay too long, if you don't see any growth for you. It's not a bad thing if you collect different various experiences in different job formats and contexts. Jump in, jump out from the sector that you planned to go take opportunities. You can learn everywhere, by the way. You can learn everywhere. And yeah, you can deepen and stay for marketing only. Go from HR to accounting to, I don't know,
All right, I think Professor Andreas got disconnected, I guess.
yeah, so it's a good to make it short. Anyway, and again, congratulations and celebrate, enjoy your achievement. Bye.
All right, thank you so much, Professor Andreas. How about other lecturers? Any one of the lecturers? Siti.
Okay, yes. I may want to say something just for a short one, because just now one of my students here, she was asking about how to avoid mistakes, right? Any no avoidable mistakes. Now, I just want to say that don't be too afraid of making mistakes in your life, all right? Just be open to feedbacks, and from there you actually learn and you grow, all right? But just make sure that you don't do the same mistakes then, okay? So don't be afraid to make mistakes, because that's where you actually you learn, yeah, and you improve, okay? And I also like to relate a bit on what Mr. Gavin said just now on don't involve yourself into office politics, and at the same time, if you feel like you are lonely in the office, you are all alone because you are the fresh grads and you are new in the office, don't worry too much about that. If you feel like you are lonely, on a less serious note, try missing a couple of payments for your bills. Then you start seeing people chasing after you. All right. So I'm just not serious. Okay. Not being serious, but I'm just saying that, you know, be happy in whatever you're doing. Okay. Enjoy life, at the same time, learn and grow. Okay. Good luck and all the best.
All right, thank you, Miss Siti. It's very, very good advice. Right. Any other lecturers here with us would like to say a final advice to all of them? Right. I think we have all the advice to the students already. All right. So thank you so much, Miss Christine, for moderating the panel session with our invited speakers. I myself learned a lot from our speakers, humbled to hear their words and advice. And besides the speakers, Professor Andreas, of course, Miss Siti just now, their advice and tips. There's so much insight from the panel speakers. We hope the students gain a lot from this session. And thank you so much once again to all our invited speakers, Mr. Gavin, Mr. Justin, Mr. Tamit, Miss Lim, and Miss Yo. We hope all of you gain a lot of inspiration and outlook about the career world from our panel speakers from this session. We hope all of you have a great journey in life and career. Don't just aspire to be a good employee. Think bigger by becoming a career provider for others. Become a businessman. Be a good citizen and give back to the community. And once again, we give thanks and we applause to Career and Alumni Office, together with Miss Catherine, Miss Serena, and the Student Services Department for organizing this first ever online webinar to our pre-graduates. Right. So with that, we have come to the end of our webinar session. And once again, congratulations for our graduation, for your graduation. We wish you all the best in your future career and postgraduate studies, and always proud to be part of the Curtin family.